This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
This table is really tilted.
Excuse me? Am I gonna get a chance to speak?
Maybe I should take that back.
Denied. Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Take a giant step for mankind.
Welcome to the Tilted Table with your hosts, Sean and Joe.
Folks, welcome to another episode of the Tilted Table, the internet's answer to a question that no one asked. I'm Sean Kabibi.
And I am Joey Joe, the Fraggy Mac.
And welcome to episode 82. We are creeping towards 100.
That's going to be amazing, man. That's like a crazy milestone.
Right? I mean 82 weeks straight without fail, which is, I'm not going to lie, it's absolutely amazing because knowing me, I would have figured I would have cracked a long time ago.
No, it's funny. I blog, you already know this, but I blog every Friday. I have blogged every Friday for a little over 3 years. I've never missed. And I think that's part of the thing, like with your and my podcast, is that there's something, the content's great. And I love the episodes and the conversations are awesome. The fact that two people, we've never had a guest. We've never run out of content.
Yeah.
And that we've published every week for, for this one, 82 weeks straight.
82 weeks straight.
Dude, that's flipping amazing, man.
It doesn't even seem like it's been that long.
I think we should get like one of those like commemorative WWE championship belts for episode number 82.
Well, no, see, 82 doesn't mean it doesn't mean anything. That's a stupid thing to say, but it's not like a significant milestone number. I think, I remember we were talking about getting shit-faced at, was it our 50th episode?
50.
And we never did that, which I'm glad we didn't do that. The more I think about just getting hammered for no specific fucking reason, it just sounds like a bad idea. Although, I mean,
or bad ideas are always the best ideas.
Yeah, and also I think it would generate some decent content for a show because I think we would. I guess what I'm saying is I think we're two enjoyable drunks, but every drunk thinks that they're enjoyable, but the rest of the people around them.
It would give us a great excuse to relive the Budweiser commercial. What's that?
So for episode 100, because we're clearly going to make 100 episodes, unless, God willing, we make 100 episodes. I'd hate to think that the only reason it wouldn't happen is one of us gets in a horrible accident. Mm-hmm. One of us is going to have to come on the mic and go like, I want to apologize and just inform everybody that we're not going to be doing an episode this week because Sean had a horrible accident. No, I'm just trying to.
Or we can, with as good as AI is getting, we can just use it to analyze the other person's voice pattern and then just like chat it up with Grok or Chat GPT and then sub in the other person's voice for the commentary.
What would be an interesting experiment would be to just have AI create one episode of the Tilted Table for us and then just publish it and we're not going to try to fool people, say, just as an experiment, what would AI say we would talk about and then just run a completely AI'd episode?
That would be interesting. Has anybody ever done that?
Not that I know of.
Huh. That would be, it's funny. This week I have a lot going on. I don't have a lot going on. I might actually do that. I might have it like analyze everything that we've published to date and then kind of like summarize each of our characters. Not characters as like people, but like characters as like, who we are inside. And then based on that, the knowledge base that we've had through all the episodes, see if it can come up with something. I can do that.
Yeah. I'd be interested.
That'd be
it's kind of creepy, but whatever. I know that Joe Rogan had the Joe Rogan AI experience. This is probably 2 years ago is when I ran into it. And so, it was the AI Joe Rogan show. And I can't remember who, I think the first guest was maybe the creator of ChatGPT, Sam Altman. And it's all AI. None of it's real. It's both people are generated. Trump was on there. And it was, it sounded like Joe Rogan. I don't know necessarily, it was what kind of content he would put together. So I guess the reason I'm saying this is like somebody has done something like this. Now, it wasn't Joe Rogan that did it because I saw Joe Rogan and he commented on it. He's like, wow, he goes, that really sounds like me.
That would be interesting.
So he was kind of marveling at it. So I don't know if anybody who's actually done it themselves, if like as a goof, let's say a real popular podcast says, well, we're gonna have AI generate a podcast for us to see how it would interpret us, and then we're gonna run that. Now, if you did that, you would have to have some kind of video, not guidelines, but like in video, so that we could comment on what the AI Joe and Sean are talking about. Like, yeah, I'd never say something like that. Whatever comment, right? Or you would look at it as like, he's actually very funny. You're not that funny, Sean. AI has overestimated your comedic timing.
Oh, that's priceless.
So hold up before we go on. Like, so do you want to do something for episode 100? We can go back to the drinking idea. I'm not against that.
I think the drinking idea is absolutely outstanding because you and I are both, I think, better than average conversationalists, and I think having a couple shots and a couple glasses of wine or bottles of wine and maybe a couple bottles of bourbon, and then maybe the police show up or they don't. I think that could be an interesting context.
I think it would be interesting to see how. I guess what I would be curious about is like how well can we hold a conversation like shit-faced without saying something that either like just out to lunch or like doesn't make any sense, because we're not going to get crazy. We know each other's, when we're drunk. Neither one of us is going to snap or do something fucking weird.
No.
But we will get probably kind of confused and slurry and like, like, what are we talking about? I don't know, right? That kind of thing. I'd be kind of curious if we could hold a conversation that's strong enough that a sober person listening would be like, we could understand what the hell it is we're going. Where are they going? What are they talking about?
I think we can do that to a point. And the reason I say to a point is it was over a month ago. Cookie and I had dinner with a friend, and we were at our favorite Mexican spot. Mm-hmm. Oh. And this friend and Cookie are having a phenomenal conversation. I felt like I was at Wimbledon, the finals match or something.
Oh, okay.
I'm watching the conversation go bing, 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 bing.
Nice,
bing.
Nice.
But during this time, I have a super ultra jumbo margarita, which has 4 shots in it.
Yeah, I remember those.
I had a couple shots on the side. I had a couple beers, and I'm just sitting there. And it's one of those things when you're drinking and you're having a great time, and you're like, well, I'm not driving. I'm not operating heavy machinery or whatnot. I'm totally fine. But you're not talking, right? And so it's all going on up in your head, and you're just having a great moment. Mm-hmm. And then it was the reason I say I'm going to be good up until a point is then Cookie and the friend both looked at me and said, well, Joe, what do you think? And I was like, well,
oh shit.
It was at that moment I knew, wow, I'm intoxicated.
Right.
I didn't think I was intoxicated 20 seconds ago, but apparently I have lost the ability to speak.
Yeah, that's people. If people that don't drink, this is something that actually can happen. If you're sitting down and you're drinking and you're not conversating with anybody,
mm-hmm.
You're just consuming. You think you're fine, and there are 2 things you'll do that will signify that, oh shit, I'm not fine. Opening your mouth and trying to say something, or getting up to move.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yep. Like in your head, you're like, oh, I'm good, and then you stand up and you're like, whoa, yes. No, I'm not good.
It's like, wait, who installed the escalator? Yeah, that was a good time. But I think that's a great idea for episode 100, and it is going to be a landmark. And again, for 2 middle-aged dudes, both with busy professional lives, and this being a hobby to crank something out like that 100 times consecutively and not miss, I think that's something worth celebrating. And it might even be worth the hangover.
It could be worth the hangover, but I only ever say that before I have the hangover. Like, yeah, I don't give a fuck, man. I'm drinking tonight, and I don't give a shit. And then you wake up in the morning, you're going like, oh, man, I do give a shit. I
shouldn't have done that.
I do give a fucking shit. I don't know what it is about a hangover. Like, you don't. I mean, I've had bad hangovers, and I remember them. But until you're back in the hangover again, mm-hmm. You can, like, in your head, I guess, kind of downplay it. I think the first thing is when you go out and you drink anyways, people don't think they're going to have a hangover. Now, when we do episode 100, I feel like that's like, well, hangover might be happening, or it's almost guaranteed. Because people, I don't think, go out drinking thinking like, I'm going to drink so much tonight that I'm probably going to be sick in the morning, right?
No, that's one of those. There's meetings for things like that.
Right. So, but when you do something like this, I don't know how many people do something like this. Like, oh, we have a podcast. We're celebrating our 100th episode, and we feel like I don't want to say we're obligated, but I guess what I'm trying to say is if it's the 100th episode, we're simply not going to open a beer or a glass of wine or whatever and cheers and have one glass. That's not we're supposed to actually get drunk on the podcast. It's a celebration. I feel like it's designed to know that you're going to get fucked up.
For sure.
And you're going to have a hangover in the morning.
Yes.
I'm not really looking forward to it, but I get in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, they're not that bad. But when you get them, you're like, oh my God.
Feel like I just got run over by a Mack truck.
Oh, so I mean, I'm still in. We'll see if we pull it off. So I actually have doubts that we'll do it. We didn't do it on the 50th show. We backed out on that, or we changed our minds. I'm not sure what happened. I think we just got busy.
I think we just got busy.
I mean, because we would have to do this on like a Friday or Saturday.
Or like a Tuesday morning.
Well, some people's schedules aren't as flexible as yours, Joe.
Oh man! Well, speaking of,
actually, what I try to think is before that 100th episode might land on like spring break for me or something.
Okay.
No, it might hit close to summer. I'm so bad with how to count. It would.
No, it's gonna be right around the corner, dude.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna line up with spring break. Yeah, I just say YOLO. And one of the best things, this is I find that as I get older. Those times, well, I go to bed at 9:15, 9:30 tops, and to stay up till 10 o'clock, that takes an act of Congress. Any later than that, I probably lost my mind, which was last night. I ended up staying up way later than I planned. The same goes for drinking. When you have friends that are like, hey, we'll meet you at wherever the spot is at 9. I'm like, no way, dude. I'm already winding down my mind at that hour.
Right.
Day drinking is fantastic.
When
it's like 11 o'clock and it's just kind of like pre-lunch time and it's a beautiful day and you're just like, hey, let's fire it up. And then, by 4 or 5, you're ordering pizzas or what's your go-to Popeyes? And then, you end up going to bed at like 7 or passing out or whatever it is at 7, 8 o'clock.
Good passing out, going to bed, same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Losing consciousness. How's that? That's
holding on to the earth so you don't fall off.
That's the bridge too far right there, man.
And day drinking, they have meetings for that.
Every once in a while is fine. And speaking of things that hurt so good, I mentioned right when I got here, I'm healing up from some more tattoo work. And it's funny, I had my work done on both of my legs again. And this is 6 days ago, and my left leg is still buzzing like it got attacked by a swarm of bees. But it's one of those pleasant kind of things. Okay. It's like, do I want it to go away? 100%. Am I okay with it? For sure.
Well, that's what they say about tattoos. There's that pleasure. You find pleasure in pain.
It is a fine line. Some people describe, friends will ask me, they're like, do you get like a euphoric feeling or, where you're just like in seventh heaven? I'm like, no, I've never gotten that. But you'll get to a point that no pun intended, that you're like, ooh, that does feel a little on the nice side. It hurts so good.
Yeah.
Do you have anything in your life that hurts so good?
What do you mean, like something that's painful that I dig?
Mm-hmm.
Like exercising.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the only one. I can't think of another one. I don't like any kind of
Your yoga?
Yeah, my yoga. Damn, I've never done that. That looks so... I know people get upset if I say this, but it looks so pointless to me. I know it works, but I think, to me, it looks pointless.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to assume.
I feel like I just shit on it. Like I know. I know it's it's not like I'm not saying it's some voodoo meditation. I know it's got value. I just think to me it looks worthless. But I just still shit on it though. Right now I just shit on it. I don't think I can get out of this.
No, I don't think so. I'm not going to give you the ripcord.
Well, there's just certain things that I'm not interested in. That I'm not saying it doesn't work, but maybe I just don't think it would work for me. Maybe I don't care that much because I guess you can't ride both sides of the fence. It's like meditation. Like people you ever seen those?
Mm-hmm.
There's studios that do this where you go and some guru breathe in, breathe that whole shit, and I'm just thinking give me a fucking break. I wouldn't waste my time. Not interested.
What about yoga pants?
Well, if the right person's wearing, I'm sure. I would, not me.
You don't own yoga pants?
No. Do you own? Don't you? Do you own spandex, like the bike riding style pants? And
Oh yeah, I'm a huge believer in leggings. Leggings under shorts when I'm working out, or if I'm running, leggings.
what is it? That stuff made of lycra?
Lycra, spandex.
Isn't it fucking hot?
No, I'm wearing it right now. Feels great.
Oh, well, it's cold outside.
That's why I'm wearing
Well,
it.
it's not that cold. Actually, we've had some fairly warm days, but
No. Well,
it's warm in the studio. Well, not anyway. It wasn't warm when I first opened this thing up.
I do think lycra though and spandex is great. I think, in fact, I think it should make a comeback.
Did it ever go away?
Well, I think it got really big in the late 80s, early 90s. Then it got kind of like awkward, right? That was when like fluorescent colors were out. But then people start, like guys would wear biking shorts.
Yeah.
Just walking around with no shorts over the top of them. And then things got kind of creepy right there.
Okay.
Right. And then leggings made a brief appearance for about 17 weeks. And then that disappeared. That was probably a good thing. But no, dude, I love it. The reason I'm wearing it right now, too, is I didn't want to feel like bleeding on the inside of my pants. So if I bleed into my lycra, like whatever.
Well, okay, that makes sense.
Throw that away.
Right. I mean, would you wear the kind that they wear the Shakespeare plays, the long white ones?
Like, I think you've now transcended leggings, and you're now into a category that's referred to as hosiery.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I guess that would be. Oh, come on, it's just a different name.
No,
It's like calling I like your dolls. Those aren't dolls. Those are action figures. No, they're dolls.
Oh, that's so good. Dude, it's funny that you say that because I just ran into somebody the other day, and I was at their work, and they had an Iron Man. It was actually really cool. It was the Iron Man that has like the rocket launcher on the shoulder or whatever, and it was probably like 14 inches or so tall. Is made out of metal. You could tell like somebody spent this was an art piece. Somebody spent a lot of money.
So yeah, this is a collectible of some sort.
Correct.
It's not just some cheap toy.
And then the gentleman's wife came around the corner and said, "You're admiring all of his." She used the word dolls. You're admiring all of his dolls, and the look on his face as she said that, and I'm staring at him. Oh, it's priceless, man. Absolutely priceless.
Yeah, I learned. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if we've ever talked about this. I learned this about 2 years ago. It makes sense now that I learned it, but at the time I was learning it, I'm like, oh shit! I felt like I had been fooled for a long time. The cartoons from the 80s, like the G.I. Joe and He-Man and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Those cartoons weren't made first, and then the toys made second. And it wasn't the toy was made and it became so popular that they had to make some kind of movie or TV show. It's the same with Transformers and all that shit. Right. That they made the toy and then they made the cartoon as a promotional tool for the toy.
Correct.
I didn't really. I mean, I get it, and maybe I always kind of knew it in kind of a backwards way. Mm-hmm. But I learned this from a YouTube channel. I just stumbled across it. It's a nostalgia channel, and I was just like, oh shit, because I always thought it was like the toy became popular. Like if you like anything else, right? You write a book and it becomes popular. They make a movie out of it, like that kind of thing.
Sure.
So when I found out that like they just made the cartoons to promote the toys, but beyond that, it was like, well, it wasn't just to promote the toys. The toys have to have some kind of story to them, and that's the only way they could get a story across. Mm-hmm. You just can't have the toy. You have to have the story. Like if you had just G.I. Joes and no context, they're just little action figures. So you have to have the show to give the kids context to understand what these toys do.
Right.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, Snake Eyes.
I feel really manipulated here.
It's called marketing.
It's called marketing. Shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Snake Eyes without the story would just be an interesting black little toy, but with Snake Eyes with the story, it's freaking rad. Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Was he your favorite G.I. Joe character?
Yeah, I want to say is Snake Eyes, and then there was Storm Shadow was the white one.
He's my favorite. Was Storm Shadow, the ninja?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I just was into ninjas as a kid.
Everybody was.
Yeah.
I think that's a normal thing.
Who was the other one that was? It looked like Storm Shadow, but it was all camouflage. I think he was a Joe. He wasn't a bad guy. No, he was a bad guy. Sabotage. Do you remember this one?
No, I don't.
Yeah, Sabotage. I guess why I liked him because it was Storm Shadow, but it was just a camouflage outfit instead of a white outfit.
The Cobra Command, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Leave a like on the video. I know you're enjoying this. Can you shut up?
The internet's answer to a question that was never asked. The Tilted Table with Sean and Joe.
Oh, other things. Speaking of things that are that hurt so good, they're awesome. Massages. I don't like people that I don't know touching me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of a really. It was like crossing the Rubicon for me.
Yeah. I've never gotten a massage. It's the same thing. I'm not that comfortable with people rubbing on me like that.
Oh man. So for me, if I think of my body as a piece of equipment, say you and I are Ferrari or Lamborghini V12s, like it requires maintenance, man. You don't just like let it rip and hope it works out, right? You gotta like do maintenance. So shout out Trish. She's one of our listeners on this podcast.
Thanks, Trish. Is she the massage therapist?
She is. She is 5'2" and has hands of freaking steel.
You gotta have fucking strength.
Man.
I can't imagine doing that job. I think within like 5 minutes, I would have those hands that like curl in.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because one of the first times, I was in lower back spasms, and Cookie's like, you got to get this thing taken care of. So now Trish has helped me for years. But the very first time I get a massage, she's working on my back, and I literally, we're not talking or anything. I'm quiet. It's the general spa. There's the music playing, the candle and all that kind of stuff. And her hands are so strong. I even asked, I'm like, are those my lungs? But it's one of those things that people are ask me, what's the best part of getting massage? I'm like, when it's done, because you feel amazing. It's like your chi has been recentered.
Yeah, I've been told a number of times by people that you should go get a massage. I have a massage machine chair thing. Like you put it on the chair and it does all the rollers up and down. And that's about as massagey as I get.
The bar that I won't climb over is people will say like, why do you always Trish is like the sole massage therapist. She's amazing. She's an awesome human being. She's a great conversationalist. But I don't want Steve or Frank giving me a massage. That's just weird.
Well, and I don't think... I don't know. I guess there's probably some dudes that don't care if a man gives them a massage, but I would think, generally speaking, most dudes probably wouldn't want... They would prefer a woman to do it. I think that would be my general consensus. Now, for me personally, if I went to a massage place, I definitely would want a woman over a dude. But I guess if I was put in a corner where somebody was just like, well, we only have guys that do it, I don't know if I'd care that much, but I would definitely prefer a woman. It's just this whole stigma, what do you have a guy doing that? And all of a sudden, like, people look at you, like, why didn't you, that idea?
So
if she's like, I'm not saying like you care, but if you told somebody, oh yeah, my massage therapist, Steve, right? They might look at you like, why don't you get a girl to do that? Wouldn't you prefer a girl? Like, I just prefer somebody that can do the job. I don't really care one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I have gotten, it wasn't technically a massage, but I forget the gentleman's name. I was referred to him by a bodybuilding shop, and he works on a lot of athletes and people that perform in like the Mr. Olympia and all that kind of stuff. So dude's got talent. And there's something called muscle scraping, where it was like this curved bone that they would basically like scrape your body with.
Okay.
And it would like get out all the knots and everything else. So it was basically a massage, but like with a tool.
Right.
So I did that one time. It was fine. I never went back. It was nothing to do with him, but it was just like a mental thing for me. I'm like,
Okay, yeah, I kind of get that. The other thing I think that's kind of a stigma with men getting massages is that if you tell somebody, like, oh yeah, I go to a massage each week, the first thing guys are going to say is like, oh man, did you get a happy ending with that? And I don't have to deal, with that nonsense, because I think that's something else that just like hangs over the whole industry, right? Like if a dude goes to get if girls go get a massage, they don't do that. It's like, that's professional. But if a guy says he's going to get a massage, everybody immediately is like, Anyway, so where you go, man, and how good is it? Right?
Well, unfortunately, it's all of like the dingy strip malls with the broken neon sign in the window.
Oh, yeah.
And like
I was driving down the street the other night. I was coming back from the Beehive, right? So I'm going down Shields, and I never noticed this place. It looks like it's a commercial business. It's a massage spot, but it looks like more like a house. So I don't know if it's converted property, whatever. I never really noticed it because I always go by in the daytime. It just looks like a house to me, and I don't, I'm not paying attention to the property. But I'm driving down. Now it's nighttime, and I'm cruising by that house, and you see like a neon sign in the window, and it says "Open Massage," and it caught my corner of my eye. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know what they do in there. I've been told by people that if you haven't had a hand job from a 72-year-old Asian lady, you don't know what you're missing.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you have a what was it? The song from Aladdin, "A Whole New World."
So yeah, what were we talking about before this? I feel like how do we get on massages? It hurts so good.
Yeah, it hurts so good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, outside of exercising, just like I said, I've never gotten a massage. I've never gotten a tattoo. So I'm 0 for 2 in those departments. I'm not sure what else. I'm trying to think of something else that would fall into that category. Maybe I guess falls into exercise, hiking. And something I really want to do, and the times I've done it, I like it. But do you go on a long ass hike? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like it. I like the physical exertion, and that hurts.
It's one of those things that it's like in the moment it's not fun. It's just work until you actually get to the summit, and you're like, "Oh, this is really cool. This is awesome. I'm glad I did it." And then on the way back down, it's like, meh. And then a month later, you're like, "Bro, you remember that time we were standing at the top of the mountain?"
Oh yeah,
right. And I do say that with experience because I have done large swaths of the Pacific Coast Trail and the John Muir Trail. So I do know, I'm speaking from my own hundreds of miles of experience. And yeah, in the moment, it's not, I would not call it fun or pleasant. It's more of like I'm doing the thing type of a deal. But in hindsight, it is magical.
Well, maybe is that like going to the dentist? Because I hate going to the dentist. But in hindsight, I'm like, man, I'm glad I went to the dentist. I don't think it's the same thing. It's a big fucking stretch here.
Yeah, but it's in the same vein. How's that? How's that? No, that's good, man. Well, we have lots of interest. Life's a journey. Life's a really fun journey. And it definitely helps when you can laugh about it. So one of the other things Cookie and I have done recently is I'm not a big live person, meaning people are like, let's go see a band or let's go do this thing or let's go see this person perform. We have a super sweet setup at home, so I'd rather like sit on the couch and watch it. And if I need to pause it and do whatever, I can do that. Mm-hmm. But let's see, last week we went and saw Rob Schneider, the comedian.
Oh, live?
Fantastic.
Where was he at?
He was down at the Tower Theater.
Okay.
And then last night we were at Save Mart Center for Cat Williams.
Oh, that's right. He played last night. Mm-hmm. He's funny.
Yeah.
I'm getting the feeling that you don't necessarily agree with that.
We left midway through.
Why?
I think, and this is where I know you're a huge stand-up comedian fan. The opening acts, I was like, are we really, mentally, I'm thinking to myself, are we really doing this? The humor is like only going to the bathroom or sex. Like there's no like, are we at the, back in say Shakespeare time where they do like the puppets and just have like quote lowbrow humor. All of the opening acts, it was like literally the same thing, copy paste. And then we got to Cat Williams, and I love Cat. But then as he halfway through his performance, I'm like, oh, I only like Cat's performance. And I've collected all of his DVDs since the early 2000s, so I've seen all of them. Mm-hmm. But it's like when I think of Cat Williams' characters, I'm thinking of like these 10 to 30 second snippets of him in certain movies. Mm-hmm. But if it's like, oh yeah, I did watch his 2-hour special or whatever. It's like, yeah, I did only like 5 minutes of that. So yeah, like 40 minutes into his performance, I was like, you know what? We went with some friends, and it was like they were like, hey, our babysitter needs us to come home, and they're like, do you mind leaving early? I'm like, I'm out.
Oh, right on. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But so the point of sharing those stories with you, Rob Schneider, I thought was absolutely hilarious. It was amazing the number of like super intoxicated people that were in that theater.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, there's this dude that was like 3 rows in front of us. He had to be like 6'8", and he stood up. And you could tell when they got there, like him and the guys were all having a great night, out drinking. You know, they're gonna get some laughs in and whatnot. Homeboy stands up to use the restroom or whatever. Again, 6'8".
Yeah.
And just eats it and rolls down the aisle.
Oh shit.
And then he stops himself. Like security runs in and he like stands up. He's like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. And Cookie nudged me and I was like, see, that's the kind of stuff that doesn't happen when you're at home on the couch. But I know you're like a big Bill Burr fan.
Yeah, I still like Bill Burr a lot. He's been getting a lot of shit lately. Well, he's gotten a lot of shit the last maybe 2 years or so, maybe 3 years. People feel like he's gone really far left, woke or whatever. And that's all politics. And then he did that show in Riyadh, and that's hurt. I think it's hurt. I don't want to speak on fucking Bill Burr's career. He's very successful, but apparently he's taken a big ding for that. So yeah, I'm a big Bill Burr fan. I've seen Bill Burr 5 times. And I mean that by far exceeds every other comedian I've ever seen. I think I've seen comedians only one time, with the exception of I think I've only seen comedians one time, with the exception of Bill Burr. I've seen him like 5 times.
Well, that's
I'm trying
great.
to think if I've ever seen anybody twice.
Well, it means that there's like the content's good, the topics. He's a great storyteller. And I think that's the thing about comedy is there needs to be a story that's in there, not just going and taking a dump and like,
Well, it's humor is so subjective. I know people that don't like Bill Burr at all. I don't think he's funny. I don't see how you cannot think he's funny, but that's me, my preference. I went to a show that a friend of mine, it was her favorite comedian. The guy's name is Nate, I think Bergazzi or something like that.
This rings a bell.
He's pretty famous, right? So he comes out, and interestingly enough, the person that wanted us to go to the show with her, she ended up bowing out. So it was me and Loveneat. I can't remember. Maybe it was Christy, or I can't remember who else went with us. But anyways, he was good. But he's definitely not my style of comedy. One, he's really clean, and that's not a big deal. I don't need you to cuss a bunch. But typically, the kind of comedians I like and the observational comedy that I like are people that point out a lot of different things. And I think a lot of those things are kind of maybe a little bit edgy, and those things usually involve them cussing everyone. This guy was pretty straight-laced. I would compare him to, I'm saying this with all honesty, I think he's a funnier version of Tim Allen, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So... when we left that show, our friend asked her, like, "What this is her favorite comedian?" And like, "What'd you think?" I'm like, "Oh, he was pretty funny. Like, I did laugh a bunch. He had some funny bits, but I wasn't like walking out there going like, "Oh man, that dude's the shit." Like,
right.
I wasn't absolutely into it. So everybody's different with their comedy. I will say this, and I'll say this. I'll take this to my fucking grave, die on the hill with this. Joe Rogan, and his podcast is so huge. I know he's considered one of the top comedians, but I've come to the realization after seeing a couple of his specials, he's considered a top comedian because of his podcast. He is, hands down, a lousy stand-up comic. He's simply not fucking funny. And I'm not talking about the politics or people that hate Joe Rogan because of his whatever. I'm talking about the quality of his material. Minus Joe Rogan and everything else about him, right? I've seen, I think, 3 of his specials, and each time in every special, I have maybe laughed twice. I'm sitting there watching this guy going like, how is it that again, people have their own opinion about Joe Rogan. I find his podcast to be interesting. I like what he does on his podcast, and I'm thinking like, he's got these ideas and thoughts. Like, how can you not turn that into funny shit?
Sure.
He can't. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's just wild to me.
Well, one of the things I like doing when I have time and I'm in the mood for comedy, my all-time favorite is George Carlin.
Yeah, I've seen George Carlin.
Man, hands down, it's so smart and insightful and funny, and It's lowbrow, highbrow at the same time. It's great social commentary.
Yeah. I think he's
timeless.
Yeah, he's definitely like the model for the type of comedian that I like. I mean, I love Dave Chappelle. I might like Dave Chappelle more than like Bill Burr. I put him in the same category. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a type of really, biting social commentary.
Yep.
And that's the kind of stuff that I like. I don't really care for the more Bill Cosby-ish storytelling, whatever, here's the story A, B, and C, and there's a funny, punchline at the end, but it's all nice and kind of clean and like, that's whimsical.
Yeah, whimsical.
I'm not really into that.
Jello.
Right, exactly. Who wants modern day Bill Cosby? But again, everybody's different. And there's comedians out there that do stuff that's not like that. Like you got like Carrot Top or like prop comics or, like Mitch Hedberg, the deadpan comic. Do you know who Mitch Hedberg is?
No. Is it like Gallagher?
No, Gallagher would be, I think, more on. Oh God, he sucked. He's like just Bill Cosby with a hammer.
A hammer, yes, and watermelons.
All right.
Yeah.
So Mitch Hedberg died probably 20 years ago, but he was a deadpan comic like Stephen Wright. I think, and I don't know if are you familiar with Dimitri Martin?
No.
See, they all have the same style of comedy. Each joke has nothing to do with the previous joke, and they're all extremely short. It's just one little quip after another. So something like, Hedberg's got so many famous jokes. It'd be like, I like escalators because they don't break. They just become stairs. That kind of, right. And then the next joke would be something equally. It's just disconnected. Doesn't, deal with. I read the dictionary. The zebra did it. I mean, Mitch Hedberg has some really good jokes, but for the life of me, I can't remember any others. They're all easy. They should be easy to remember.
Yeah.
He was really, really popular.
I do enjoy Jim Gaffigan. Hot Pocket.
Yeah, I saw him live. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because he's not particularly dirty. He's I don't know what you would. I like Gaffigan a lot.
He's a great storyteller.
Yeah, but I think I like Brian Paulson better, and I would put them kind of in the same category, but Paulson's the more dirty version of like a Jim Gaffigan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with Brian Paulson. You would recognize him if you saw him.
Okay.
But he's very similar in look, that sort of self-deprecating kind of humor. But he's way filthier and a little more edgy than Jim Gaffigan. But Gaffigan's funny, and like I said, we saw him live at Save Mart Center, and he killed it. He's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say my other favorite alive comic right now is Shane Smith. Shane with a Y. I don't know if you would totally recognize him. Like his whole face is tattooed and.
Okay.
But he is absolutely hilarious. I think one of his main shticks. He's on Dry Bar Comedy. Is like how I got banned from karate.
Okay.
It's outstanding. I think it had like 20 million views or something crazy on it. But it really funny.
I have to check him out. Yeah. I don't watch enough stand-up comedy. I should be watching more.
Yeah, it's great. Shane Smith's awesome, and he's super smart, and he's on a lot of different people's podcasts. Is social commentary, religious context, and just a great storyteller.
Cool. Yeah, I have to check it out. Yeah.
So that's the thing about life, man. You just got to keep on laughing.
The only thing you can do.
Facts.
I have an important announcement for you, so stay tuned.
Yo, that's some next level shit, bruh.
So you got me. Big deal.
The internet's answer to a question no one asked. The Tilted Table with Sean and Joe.
Folks, thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Tilted Table, the internet's answer to a question that no one asked. I'm Sean Kabibi.
And I'm Joey Joe, the Frat Mac.
And you can reach us at all the major social media outlets at The Tilted Table 1. Like, subscribe, ring bells, notify, whatever.
Send us notes, man. We want to hear from you. We want to talk about it, so let's do this.
All right. Peace.